October 22nd, 1915. Dear Diary, I am appalled by the foul working conditions that 5 million American girls have to undergo. This dreadful work labor leads to potential motherhood and wifehood getting crushed. It infuriates me. It infuriates me that every time we get near an agreement, new settlers come to the dreamlands in hopes of gaining wealth. Yet, it seems that their first priority is keeping the females in the houses as their children's caretakers. It is degrading and it should be accounted as a crime towards women. This is the reason why we should demand the ballot, so that when a woman goes out into the world to face the world, she can do as a man's equal. I am happy that I can write my thoughts here. It can be hard to contain myself out in the open. I see all this crime against women and something has to be done about it. Even though some may see me as out of control, I feel very much in control of my actions, and I feel that my fellow demonstrators are in control of their actions as well. This is not just an act of hysteria. This is not just an act of pure boredom and uncommon knowledge. This is an act of freedom, and we will not rest until we have gained what is rightfully ours. Whenever I hear anti-suffragists say that by being enfranchised, we are relieved of the burdens of suffrage, I wonder what we are relieved from. Relieved from freedom? What a grand relief. I have been working on my speech today. It is almost exhausting the way people test whether or not women are even adequate to vote. Recently, it has been stated that our blood has been tested to see if we were qualified to vote or not, and it has been discovered that in a certain quantity of blood taken from a male, there are more red corpuscles that in the same quantity take from a female. Therefore, women ought not to be permitted to vote. I am tired of their discoveries and their therefores. There's always a therefore, no matter what argument. The therefore is permanent. Do not even get me started on brain testing. I'm thinking of including a French scientist's discoveries on that matter. He found that men's brains weighed a little less than women. What an honor to have a bigger brain than the brain of an idiot. Sometimes I think back on the article I read about the woman who ran in front of the king's horse. Although others may not agree with her gesture, as me and my fellow companions do, she shall be remembered for her bravery. I still cannot help wonder if she actually meant to die. Whatever her intention was, she drew attention to an important cause, and she showed everyone that we are not afraid. We are not afraid of anything. I wish more people, or to be more concrete, more women would realize how important women's suffrages really is. I pity Mrs. Leatherby. She does not realize what she's doing. She seems almost brainwashed. She will learn, somehow. To end on a good note, here's a quote I find rather relevant in any situation. The only thing I cannot understand about a suffrage meeting is the necessity for holding a suffrage meeting. Sincerely, Dr. Anna Shaw.
October 23rd, 1915. Dear Diary, something that happened in 1911 happened again today. A walk for women's suffrage. I'm in complete awe of the harm they're causing by performing such wrongdoings. They are clearly not as educated as I. Many thousand women were gathered this morning. They were shouting, chanting, and holding banners. Complete chaos filled the streets of New York, interfering with everyone's daily rhythm, including mine. Never have I seen such immaturity. It was Carrie Chapman Catt and Anna Shaw who led the march. God, I despise those women. They do not realize how granting women's suffrage will be a step towards equality between men and women, eventually causing a shift in gender roles, and that is definitely not desirable. Women will then become more politically active and steal jobs that were initially suited for men. This will, inter alia, cause a decrease in birth rate, since women will simply not have the time to stay at home and take care of the kids. Furthermore, women will no longer be employed where they are immensely fitted, and will therefore cause an increased expense for the government, which will be an economic waste. I have looked into the statistics of women suffragists, and in addition to all the harm women's suffrage will cause, they show that, as a matter of fact, the vast majority of women are not actually in favor of women's suffrage. Only 500,000 women are suffragists, where the remaining 16.5 million women are either opposed to the further extension to their sex or remain indifferent as to whether voting be granted them or not. Consequently, granting women's suffrage will only put a heavy and undecided burden upon the many who are on the opposing side. Correspondingly, they will be forced into political activity which will be against their natural desires, opinions, and beliefs. Additionally, The biological characteristics of the female sex disqualifies women for such political activities and responsibilities, since they have been suited especially to the certain gender. For instance, a man cannot give birth to a child, as his male body has not been suited for that. Also, the male and female gender are specialized and created differently, and with evolution, this gap has only increased. Granting women's suffrage will simply cause a retrogression in our society today. I cannot even fathom the idea of a society functioning properly with legal women's suffrage. If this is just the beginning, what will come next? Imagine, one day we might even have a female president. Complete nonsense. Women are women, and men are men, and that is how it's supposed to be. No shifting, no switching, no interfering with what is the other gender's responsibility and privilege. Those are guidelines I believe all women and men should adhere to and adopt into their own set of beliefs. Sincerely, Miss Albert T. Leatherby.
October 23rd, 1915. Dear Diary, I am proud to call myself an American woman. Yesterday, Carrie Chapman Catt and I led the League of Women Voters down New York's 5th Ave. We were 20,000 women marching. As we marched, I felt the adrenaline in my blood. My age meant nothing at this point, and I knew others felt the same way. Old women with canes, young mothers with babies, you name it, we were all marching. We were all dressed in white. We were tired of being portrayed as fire-starting militants and misguided housewives. We are all well aware of what we are doing, and we are civil human beings. The sooner everyone realizes this, the better. On our banners, our words were carried through the streets of New York City. A vote for suffrage is a vote for justice. You trust us with your children, trust us with the right to vote. I am proud of all these women who marched with us. We are strong. We will forever be strong. We walked 5 miles. The reason for our march right here and now, one might ask? Because New York State was about to have a referendum vote on whether or not women should be allowed to vote. This was what the march was about. Taking action, taking control. Sincerely, Dr. Anna Shaw.
The suffrage parade that Shaw spoke about in this hypothetical diary did not have the expected outcome, most certainly not right away. Women were not granted the right to vote until 1917. Shaw died in 1919. 4 years after the march, the 19th Amendment would grant all American women the right to vote.